Once more, we stand at the stairway to oblivion. The investigators are about to descend. It is Call of Cthulhu, and in no particular order, let us introduce the investigators that are here tonight.
Every time.
Every time.
Quick, somebody talk. I'm playing. I'm Luke, and I'm playing Violet Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Halloween. I'm playing Dr. Daniel Grant.
Yep.
Go on.
I'm Bethrin and I'm playing Everett.
Mm-hmm.
Everett. I'm Rupert and I'm playing Straczynski.
Unfortunately, not with us this evening is Kleika, who plays Martin Schmidt.
So will not be appearing in this episode.
Will be appearing very minorly. Does anyone need a summary as to what happened last time?
We're at the staircase down, where we had opened the sort of stone in the wall thing, right?
Yes, you were in the Hermantic Order of the Silver Twilight's lodge, and there had been an unfortunate bear incident that had provided a distraction suitable for you all to get into the basement area that you were keen to get to. You had ultimately found a secret stairway leading down in a tiled room, and you were all about to descend. Schmidt, at this point, is a little concerned about the situation of what would happen if somebody decides to sneak up on you, so volunteers to guard the entrance, and should he find anything, he will come down and alert you.
Perhaps the man's previous break in a similar tunnel has caused him
he's
a
little averse to going down into another tunnel like that. I take it there are no objections?
Nope.
Right. Who?
Yet.
I am curious about this. I want a marching order. Who's going down the stairs?
Straczynski would not mind going first. He is, provided he's armed. What do I have again? There was a pistol and I gave Grant what?
You are currently armed with a...
I brought a pistol and a knife, and I think I shared something with good man Grant before the bear showed up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did, but I don't have anything written down, actually.
So you either took the knife or the pistol, but if Violet showed up with your weapons, I assume he got his...
You're all suitably armed. You're currently...
I think I got my stuff back, I'm pretty sure, so I probably... As far as I'm aware, I handed it back to you.
You're armed with a Mosin and a 7-shot revolver, I believe.
I don't think I have brought my Mosin.
Then you brought your 7-shot revolver with you.
I wouldn't have been able to smuggle the Mosin in, I think.
You got the revolver then.
Yes.
So, it's Straczynski the first. Who's going behind Straczynski?
I can.
Okay, then, and who's going behind Grant?
And Everett has no weapons, so he's
Everett's
going to go at the front.
So Everett's going next?
Everett may have the knife.
And then, alright, so the order is Straczynski, Grant, Everett, Violet. Fair enough. You start descending these stairs. The stairs have been carved out of the granite stone that is the foundation rock of this building. They spiral for a long, long way. You expected them to be about maybe 1 or 2 rotations down, take you about 10 seconds to go down. No. These stairs spiral for what you think is hundreds of feet.
What smell do we encounter?
There isn't really a particular smell at all.
Musty, sort of damp.
The one thing you do notice, since you're specifically paying attention, is that there appear to be there are handrails.
Oh, that's nice.
And there are handrails at points. There are handholds at others. But every step you take launches a fine rain of dust from the steps. These steps have not been stepped down for a long time.
Ooh. Is are the handrails a different era of construction than the stairs themselves? Same.
No, you can't really tell. The stairs seem... They're not freshly cut. As you get down, the first thing that comes to your mind is the fact that this cavern is not natural. You finally get to the bottom. You think it must have been about 700 feet down. But you've gone.
What's that then proper?
A couple, 200, 300, about 2 300 meters.
Oh, thank you.
So it's a long way down. This is a very, very old area that you are in. It is dimly lit by lanterns, of which none of you have any, I might add. None of
I thought we took one off the wall, didn't we?
I have a torch,
You
usually.
have a torch.
Didn't we take a lantern off the wall before coming down, or was that in the previous...
That was in the previous area. You have a torch, Violet. Okay. So
Actually, I can't remember. I feel like we had a discussion about whether or not electric torches were available, and then we decided that they were.
no, in
They
that
were,
case,
they were. We decided that.
You might
Also,
not have one. That's the thing.
Violet's height with the torch gives us sort of a lighthouse
I would say
quality.
that this is one of those things, Violet, that unless you specifically said you had brought one, you wouldn't have brought one, because you weren't to know that you were going to descend so far down.
Look, I duct taped this torch to the elephant gun. All right.
Did
There
also
are
also go at night.
There are
so
lanterns you can take, but
how are these lit? Is this the guy that lights the candles in Resident Evil mansions?
they're lit by they're powered by thinking. Normally it's by paraffin, isn't it? Or is it gas?
I think gas would make more sense because then
Yeah.
the stairs could be dusty. Because
Yeah,
if it's
gas.
paraffin,
They're
someone
gas,
has
they're
to.
gas-lit
Yeah.
lanterns. Yes, you can take one if you like.
Wouldn't the gas be coming from a pipe?
There are various ones there, but there is actually one that's hanging.
That's right.
There is one that's hanging as well. That's one that's just generally lit. It's not lit at the moment.
Well, we shall take this, right, chaps? Yes.
May as well.
Okay, I will describe the room you.
Otherwise, we will be blind.
You describe the room you've entered into. There is the stairway you've come down. It opens into a sort of semicircular room that you can see. To your left immediately is a door. A little bit more to your right, in the middle of the semicircular area, is another door. You see ahead of you, the corridor just goes into a large area, and there's a cut-out bit of stone to your left. So basically, to describe it, door immediately to your left, there's a door to your right, there's a large alcove-like area a little further down ahead of you to the left, and there's a big open area straight ahead of you. This area is illuminated. The area far ahead of you is not. So, there's a door.
May there be some spot hidden and listen, perhaps?
You could certainly do that if you like.
I would like to turn that on passively as we are skulking. If you would roll.
Yeah. You don't spot anything particularly interesting. Not here, anyway. There's all the doors are shut, by the way, and you don't hear anyone down here. Like, the din of commotion upstairs in the lodge died very quickly as you descended down.
Can I also do one then? In that
Yes,
case?
yeah.
Well, did he pass, or is this pointless? Sorry, just to clarify.
He passed, but he didn't spot anything.
So
Can I make a?
sorry. Oh, no, please.
I was gonna say, can I make a general knowledge roll to get an impression of how old, what kind of environment, what kind of
You'd
architecture?
be looking at either an architecture roll or a geology roll.
Well, you could do both, couldn't you?
You could do both if you like.
We're not being chased, so might as well.
One second, I'm a family. I'm a family.
I could roll them.
Can I do a history check to see if there was any
Ooh.
sort of excavations down this deep in the city before?
Yeah, sure, do a history check.
Give me a sec.
Oh, I have archaeology 71%. Can I use that?
No, it'd have to be specifically architecture.
Oh.
I can't. Like,
Dig a hole, then
You
it's
can do archaeology
archaeology.
if you'd like. Do a history roll, Everett.
Oh shit! I've got history. I can do that.
33.
33. Right. You know of no things that have occurred in the past, like excavations down this deep into the this area. This is entirely new to you.
Cool.
Nice.
Do archaeology if you like, or architecture. Well, Violet has archaeology, that's why I'm asking.
Kleiker was our architect, man. No, that was the previous Kleiker. Was it? No, this
Okay,
is
what's that?
this Kleiker. Current Kleiker has
He's not with
architecture.
So.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
We got a 5 on archaeology, boys.
5 on archaeology.
Oh yeah.
This is not an archaeological dig. This has definitely been built as a structure for use rather than a hole leading to somewhere.
Did anyone guess the era of the doors?
Doors look fairly modern.
Okay.
I am profoundly impressed by her perspicacity as he looks around and says it's not an archaeological dig. Wow.
This for certainly isn't a cheesery.
Everett?
How clean is the room? Is it?
Dusty.
Are there like pebbles or anything around, or is it
It's very
a proper
clean.
room?
It's very cleanly carved and carved out, but it's very dusty.
All right.
So it's not stone dust or granite dust. It's dust, as in this place isn't very often stepped in.
Yeah.
So there's a door immediately to your left, and there's a door to your right.
To be more pedantic, how's the dust distributed? Is it sort of even, so that if when the room gets dusted, it gets dusted evenly?
Even that you can tell.
So there's no dusty path, steps leading between the doors?
Nope, it's even that as far as you can tell.
That's weird.
Yes, it is weird. So there's a door to your left, door to your right, area a little ahead in the left, and the large area further ahead. Your pick on doors, or which way you want to go.
Should we start with the closest door?
Nothing ventured?
The corridor ahead isn't actually behind a door, is it?
No, there are no doors.
So we probably need to keep an eye on that before we think about opening any doors.
And there's
make sure
no sound or
Yeah,
light.
make sure there's no one else in the main room with us.
You can make a listen check if you go closer to that area.
I shall do that.
Right. As you're going closer, you go past that alcove area. You having a look at it?
Yeah, I'll look at it on the way past.
Okay. As you go past this, you look to your left, and there is an altar and a bas relief on the wall behind this altar. A curtain is partially covering this relief. You can't see it clearly. The altar is of stone. Seems to have been carved out of the granite that this whole place has been carved out of. It is stained with a brownish material. You know it's likely blood.
Not an eldritch toilet.
No. The curtain has a draw rope, a rope to move it.
Can I do a casual occult roll?
You can make. Are you going with Daniel? Because Daniel's moving a bit ahead.
Well, unless Daniel has the light, he has to follow him.
Oh yes, you do, don't you? You can make an occult roll if you like.
We're not going to pull the curtain. We're not going to pull the curtain back first.
There's a wizard behind it. Pay no attention.
Do you want to pull the curtain back while he's making?
How big is the curtain?
It covers the entire back wall.
I'll let him roll. I'll do the roll first then, if he wants to check it.
Roll.
Sorry, she wants to check it. So.
Yeah, do the occult roll.
43.
43. There's nothing especially that references any occult knowledge you know. This is beyond your standard occult. The place it is, and what it's made out of, it doesn't conform to any specific occultish groups or sects that you know of. It's very
mythos. Can we mythos?
Are you saying I've got to activate the mythos skills?
You can't mythos the altar. There is
Can we pull back the curtain then?
You can pull back the curtain.
Perhaps we should. Perhaps.
You pull back the curtain. This bas relief depicts some sort of creature that you striding across the earth, crushing humans as it goes. Above its head is something which you're not quite sure what it is exactly. Roll me Cthulhu Mythos rolls. Everyone who's here. Is everyone looking at this? Who isn't looking at this?
Ooh.
23, baby.
11.
So you both pass.
Yeah, boy.
I don't have Cthulhu Mythos, so it's only point.
You must roll me,
can't roll
Kiko.
it.
You must roll me, Kiko.
You can't roll it, unfortunately, Everett. You fail. Everyone, however, that's looking at it, make me sanity checks.
Oh. 80. Woo!
You fail.
Roll me.
48, which I think is actually a failure.
48 is indeed a failure. You also fail, Stravinsky. What
Nice.
about Everett?
You have to roll me quickly.
I will roll you. You pass. You take no sanity loss. The rest of you lose 2 sanity.
Oh, man.
As the image is generally horrifying and unsettling. The people who pass recognize this figure that is being depicted as the Great Cthulhu.
Yay!
You also recognize the thing above its head. You, Strabinsky, think that that's the sun. The other 2 believe that they have read in their tomes various references about an item, a stone called the relay disc. You don't know much.
What do I know about that?
You know nothing about it, save that you know that that is the relay disc.
Oh, okay.
But generally, you know that this winged humanoid is dismayingly horrifying and huge and colossal, and is meant to be one of the most destructive and knowledgeable of the Mythosian entities. You don't know much specifically about it, but you know it's horrifying. Its
Best kind of
eyes
knowledge.
have a steady hypnotic pull to them.
Perhaps we should close the curtain again.
Well, can we see anything else about the altar and the sort of statue?
It's a bas relief. Nothing in particular from this. It's basically what you pulled from the bas relief, the image, the idea.
Is there any paper? Can we sketch it? I mean, or
Nobody's brought paper specifically with them, I don't think, except
Alright.
maybe
If
Everett.
anyone knew someone who took photos, what happened to that guy?
Except maybe Everett might have paper. Does Everett have paper with him, or has he not brought
Probably
any?
not.
No, nobody has paper then.
Oh well, all right.
There may be paper in the other rooms. You're a little closer to the big room.
Can I do my
All you-
listen check in that case?
Yes, do your listen check.
Yeah, boy. 28.
28. You hear silence.
Oh, all right.
All you can see of this room, you can't even see much with the lantern light, is that this room is vast, cavernous, and it's got pillars. There are pillars within it. You think this room may be at least from corner to corner, maybe 200 feet, maybe?
What's the
quite
door
big,
like?
then.
It's a big
Is
room.
that the one without the door?
Yeah, this is the corridor ahead that opens up to a huge area. You think maybe from the edge of your lantern light you might be able to see more stairs down.
Nice. We should check the other door.
There are 2 doors behind you. There was the door immediately to your left when you came in, and there's a door to your right.
Let's check those doors before we go any further, I think.
Which door would you like to check first?
Do you reckon, boys and girl? Left?
If you guys check the doors, I'll probably keep an eye on the corridor into the cavern.
The
I
unarmed,
think
the unarmed
the
man
left-hand
keeps an eye.
path is key.
Hey.
So, left or right door?
Left?
Widdershins, motherfuckers.
Widdershins. May I sneak in if possible while listening?
You may try a sneak.
Please.
Okay, you're sneaking.
Nice.
I'm not telling you how good you did at sneaking, but you're sneaking.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go, might as well try.
You then listen at the door. You think you hear someone on the other end.
What's this someone doing?
You don't know.
Is it talking or is he just?
You think you hear shuffling.
Is there? If we turn the light away, is there light coming under the door?
No.
Can we push the door open slowly?
Yes, you can.
Can we set up someone ready to shoot? Because I think this is another one of those fucking
Who's pushing the
zombie
door
rooms.
open?
If I'll push the door open with my gun ready, I guess. Slowly.
As you push the door open, it
We have a
creaks
stick.
exceptionally loudly.
Fucking door.
There wasn't any lock or
Nope.
mechanism or
No
the door or
lock.
anything.
You just get the handle, push, and it creaks super loud. If there was anyone on the other side of the door, they do not react to it.
The shuffling continues.
You find out at this point that your listening has deceived you, and there is in fact nothing on the other side of the door.
As in existential nothing or
There is
an
no
empty
buddy.
room.
There is no buddy.
Oh.
So your hearing has failed you in this instance. You rolled shockingly badly.
Oh, okay. What's in the room? Can you
What's in the
describe?
room? Okay. This room contains a few wooden tables. A large ring of keys hangs on a wall.
Ooh, keys.
There are no people. There's only the tables, no chairs, and a ring of keys on the wall. They look heavy and old.
The table's laid out. Actually, no, I'm not looking. So
You're not there. I was about to say, is there anything interesting on the table itself?
Nothing on
or?
the tables whatsoever. There's only the keys.
Okay. Well, I think we should. Can I examine the keys to see if there's any mechanisms if I take the keys?
You can take 'em and have a quick look.
No, sorry. I meant like, are the hooks connected to anything that the keys are on?
Spot
Can I?
need
hidden.
a-
In case it's
hidden
like a
on
weight
that.
trap.
You need broken keys.
Spot hidden on
to
that then,
switch.
please.
18.
18. Nope. You don't see anything linked to it.
Is that a note because I passed or a note because I failed?
You
That
don't
is
know.
that is a nope. You don't see anything. You don't see anything. I'm not telling you if you passed or failed.
God damn
I'm
it.
just. Do you want
Alright.
to take the keys?
Yeah, I guess.
You take the keys. You now are in possession of a ring of keys.
Do the keys look
Da-da-da-da.
relatively generic, or is there anything unusual about their design?
They are made entirely of metal. They're rather big keys. You get the feeling these are not keys for a standard door.
What's the table like?
Made of wood.
Is it big?
No, they're not very
Oh.
big.
I smash it.
You smash the table. What with?
Do I get wood bits? I
No,
just
no.
pull on the legs of it, break them off.
This is when you find out that they're actually not loose. You
What do you
try
mean?
and pull it, and it doesn't move.
Table's bolted down, boys.
Table's bolted down.
In case anyone steals the table.
I don't want to steal the table.
They heard about the one-man crime wave that was on its way, and they were like,
So you now have the only thing that seemed to be of any interest in this room.
God
mean-
damn it! I want the table. I want things to throw down the stairs.
what would they be using the table for anyway?
Well,
That's
there's a
the problem.
mystery. So there's another door on the other side of the room. Of the room you came out on. Do you want to check
so
it out?
just for a quick clarification.
Yes.
What's the geography of the area that we've seen since we've just a quick description of the areas that we've been in and how they're connected to each other since
Okay.
we came down from the steps?
When you
just
came
because
down
I'm
the
slightly
stairs, you have just entered a door immediately to your left.
okay, but when we get to the bottom of the stairs, it's just like there's just a door on our left and that's it.
There's a door to your left. The area sort of opens out into a semicircle on your right-hand side. There's a door in the middle of that semicircle. Ahead of you is the semicircle when it like curves back. There's a little corridor that leads to the big open area you saw. And just before that little corridor on your left is the area with the altar.
Okay, and big open area is cavernous, or we just
It's-
couldn't see its
It's
extent?
the cavernous
or-
one.
You,
Yeah.
It's very cavernous. You can't see from the entrance of it if the walls on the edges are worked. You could see there were a few pillars ahead of you, so there are pillars in the room. You may also
But-
think that there are stairs in there.
The cavernous room opened up, didn't it? It was just basically stairs down into darkness in a cavernous room with
Well,
no
you-
supports on either side of the stairs, presumably.
Well, they are a lot like the stairs you came down here in. Like,
It's a spiral staircase. How
Spiral
can we tell the room is cavernous if
because you had a
There's-
light
Whoa,
source.
whoa, we
There's
can
light
hear.
sources.
Like underground, you could 100% hear how big a room is.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if there's like walking down the stairs would mean that there's no supports on either side. And if you fall to the side, you just go plop.
The only way you'll find that out is if you go further into the room.
Well,
You
I
only
mean,
you only thought you saw bits of
Okay.
stairway. You're not actually close enough to see the stairs in detail. You'd have to.
but
go
I
further in.
wanted some table to throw down there so
Nope.
we can get an idea of how it clattered. But I guess this table is bolted down in
It is
adventure game
bolted
terms.
down.
What sort of bolts? Can I unscrew them? Mechanical
Can't
repair.
see them.
Fucks. Never mind that room. then.
Other door
Other door, same procedure.
worked so well last time.
Well, I mean,
Well, we can probably assume it's going to creak again, I guess.
Who's
Yeah,
going to
but-
open it?
Surbinsky,
well, I think-
Surbinsky will sneak open. Sure, he'll attempt to be hidden while doing so.
Ah,
Did either of the doors actually have keyholes on them?
no. Neither of them have keyholes on them.
How many keys are in the bundle?
You have 12.
That's a lot of keys.
That's
It's a big keyring.
Are they of the same metal, or are they
Yeah.
distinct somehow?
They are not distinct from each other, except the teeth on them.
Ah.
So
Well, in I go.
you've sneaked.
Yeah,
You're gonna open the door.
Yeah.
This door does not creak. You have opened up into an area that looks like a kind of study. This area has a desk, a comfortable chair, and another oil lamp. This one is not lit. There's a box of kitchen matches on the desk.
Is the desk bolted?
I'm taking those matches,
There is
and
another
they're not
door.
bolted down.
There is another door on the left-hand wall in this room. This door has a keyhole.
I suggest someone who has ears, not me, listen at the door.
The desk has drawers, for reference. There are two.
Would like some spot hidden and listen at the door while others sort the room.
Yeah,
Please.
I mean, I would suggest that we look through the keyhole, but the problem is there's no light, so you'd have to shine a light through the keyhole, at which point your attempt to be surreptitious has been rather ruined.
So,
Yes, the guy just looks
What's
around and
everyone
goes like,
doing
huh?
with this room? Presented with this room.
I'm going to
Uh,
ransack the drawers. Let's do
I
it.
shall spot hidden and listen at the other door while they sort the room in case. Try and watch out
So
for
You're having a look at the next door, or the door that you've just gone through.
the room itself.
The
See if
room
there's
itself. Okay, you're looking at the room. Violet is looking at the desk.
Yep, give me that delicious desk lifestyle.
Okay, right. Spot hidden rolls for you two. What are you doing, Daniel?
Keeping cover. I'll
You're
sort of
you're keeping
pointing
watch.
guns.
And what's Everett doing? Still keeping an eye on?
Still keeping an eye on the corridor down.
Did we arm him, or is he standing there with a knife?
He's standing
I'm
there
not
with a-
even sure I have a knife.
he's
I think
standing
you
there
got
with
the
a
knife.
As far
You
as
got the
know.
knife. Yeah.
He's dressed
So-
up like a canary. It's okay.
Spot hidden rolls for everyone. I will roll yours.
Thank you, do me, Kiko.
Okay,
For some reason
you don't.
Don't mind me, I'll just get a casual 92. Still no spot hidden skill, by the way.
Your eyes retreat
Well,
into your head.
Okay. What about Daniel?
What about me? Sorry.
Are you rolling a spot hidden?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I certainly am. 14.
Okay. You don't spot anything particularly interesting. Nobody's coming in or looking around.
Nothing particularly interesting. There's some sort of gribbler over there, but that's not that interesting.
You don't see you as far as you know, Stravinsky, you don't think there's anyone on the other side of the door. It does not take much searching, Violet, even with a terrible roll, to find in the drawer a key. A small key. This is a door-sized key.
This is like a sort of key fetishist around here. We've already got 12.
You also find, because you are specifically looking at the desk, you find a piece of paper that is wedged at the back of this drawer.
So wait, Kiko, you're saying that rather than having a big bunch of keys, we found a small key. One might even say a lesser key? Strokes chin wisely?
Right. Now, this looks like a letter. Do you want to read it?
Fuck yes.
Right, I'm going to have to read this to you, and then I will paste it to you.
Good man.
This is a letter that was addressed from Muckbane House, Cannock, Scotland, 12th of March, 1923. That wasn't long ago. Dear Mr. Stanford, greetings and felicitations. Miss Chantraine has advised me of your recent successes and informed me of the item you require. I fear that it will be some time before I find it, as there are 2 Americans digging at where I believe to be the site of the temple. 2 of my people are working for the Americans. It may be that they will accomplish all for me. I realize that you are most anxious to obtain it, but I feel cautious and discretion to be the better course of action. My studies with the Serpent people progress most satisfactorily. Another year should see them completed. The Serpent people recommend that I journey to the Nameless City for further instruction, but I will remain here until we have it. When possible, I want to obtain the further instruction offered. I will, however, be ready to carry out any further tasks our order may have for me. You mentioned in your last letter that Miss Chantraine might join me here when she has converted the leaders of the Thule Bruderschaft. I fear that the Germans are overmuch upset with the French at this time for them to listen to her. Might I suggest that you ask Helmut Grossman to take over for her? I realize that he has not been to Germany for over 200 years, but unless you have someone else in mind, I feel he would be best for the task. I agree with you that the Order of the Templars of the Orient does not contain the type of individual we seek. They are not ready for greater truths. You might suggest that to our German colleagues that individual members of the Order be carefully approached as potential followers of the true gods. I am not familiar with the Hermantic Order of the Golden Dawn or the Astrum Argentinium and can give no recommendation. I will hand on the query to our London group and have them send you word. I spoke to a Mr. William Seabrook, who said that Mr. Alistair Crowley, who is associated with both groups, or had been at one time, may have occult powers. We should perhaps contact this man. I understand that Mr. Scott is in charge of the project in your area. Please extend my greetings to him. I have not seen him since before the Great War. Perhaps we can meet next year. Most sincerely, Duncan McBain.
Okay, Kiko, I just want to call out the fact that I made a lesser key meme, and 5 minutes later you said the name Alistair Crowley. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have pasted this to you.
I like it.
So you now have a copy of that letter.
I think the gist of this is that they're deploying Helmet.
I mean, what it looks like is we just have a secret society of old people who know all about Cthulhu magic and shit who live forever, who are recruiting from other secret societies, but trying to keep normies out.
I'm assuming they're looking for the disc. Out of character. That's what they're digging for.
So, you found another key. This is a small key.
Can you put it on the keychain?
You cannot put it on the keychain, actually. The loop is too small. You think this, unlike the other keys, is a key for an actual door. And, as luck would have it, you have a door with a keyhole in this room. Of which Stravinsky heard or saw nothing on the other side.
I would like to try and knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door.
What, you're knocking on the...
Nothing happens.
No one's home. We're safe.
Great.
He's safe.
Is it obvious that the keyhole is the right size for the key?
There's only one way to find that out.
Well, I mean, by inspection.
You think it's roughly the right size, but there's only one way to be sure.
All right, let's test our intuitions.
Right, you put the key in the keyhole. You turning clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Widdershins.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Anti-clockwise.
Nothing happens.
Shit.
We tried the other direction.
We failed the puzzle.
Door opens.
It was a 50-50.
Door
and we
unlocks.
failed.
You can hear a satisfying click. And the door is unlocked. Do you want to open it?
We'd like to take the lantern and light it as well.
Alright, you light the lantern. You now have two. Do you wish to open this door?
Same procedure.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I like it.
The door opens. This one is not squeaky at all.
Nice.
This is a library of some variety.
Oh, sick.
This room contains a desk, a chair, and a large bookcase. The books in the case are neatly arranged and sort of extend from the middle of the bookshelf down to the bottom. Pretty big bottom to the bookshelf.
Yeah.
You will also note that there is a cubical wooden box with a hinged lid in one corner of the bookshelf. There is a small leather-bound book on top of it.
I shove these lesser nerds out the way as I brandish my 83% library use score.
Okay.
I'm going to roll library use to get I want to accomplish three things. Get an estimate of the subject divisions in this library, what's it about, what the books are like, and if there are any books that we should take, because I want all the books.
Roll me that library use roll.
I'm ready.
While the man does this, I would like to spot hidden for anything untoward in
34.
the library.
Okay, 34. You're all spot hidden. You don't spot anything in particular.
Okay, so she's not going to get eaten.
You don't. Not that you know.
That's all
Daniel?
Is there anything mythosy that I recognise in the room that I could roll for?
Roll your mythos, roll them.
57.
Nope, nothing that you recognise.
In that case, I'm going to go back out and meet up with Everett
Okay.
while those guys are looking.
Okay, as you're doing that, I have the following information to tell you, Violet. These books are mainly mathematical, philosophical, and scientific works. They only occupy about the bottom 3 shelves. The rest of the shelves are empty of books. And they are all very neatly laid out, but they haven't been moved for a while, except the ones on the bottom shelf. They've all been moved recently.
Okay.
All of them.
And if I remove the books in the bottom shelf, do we discover anything exciting?
Do you want to remove the books in the bottom shelf?
Why not?
All right.
Because I'm going to want to have a look at them. Because if they've been used recently, they might be annotated or something.
Okay.
You don't know.
Given she's examining, would she notice whether the upper bookshelves have been previously used, or is there dust there?
There is a
indicating
lot
they've
of
been
dust on those shelves. They have not been used for a long time. So you're moving all the books from the bookshelf. As you move the final book,
Are there 12, perhaps?
no, you move the final book. It occurs to you that the shelf on the bottom is remarkably loose. Because you're lifting up these books, and as you're lifting them, as you get more and more of them lifted, the shelf at the bottom, normally the bottom shelf of a bookshelf will be very secure. This one isn't.
Is there junk in that trunk? The big bottom bookshelf?
Is there anything you wish to do?
I suggest that we remove the shelf.
Okay, you're going to remove the shelf. You remove the shelf. It's easy to remove. It reveals a secret compartment. This hollow contains an ancient-looking book. Very ancient-looking. Would you like to take it?
I'm first going to examine it, see if I can read the title, check how it's bound.
You can read the title, because you happen to have Ancient Greek.
Finally.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. You do not know the half of it. Because I'm going to find the book here. You read the title of the book, and I would like you to make me a mythos roll immediately.
61.
61. You do not know necessarily of any of the things on the front of it. This is... I'm going to leave a pause here because you're going to like this. It's the Necronomicon.
But I'm
Yes.
misremembering. Didn't we find a bowdlerized version of the Necronomicon before?
No. You found something of the Libra Ivonus a long time ago.
It's not a Necronomicon, it's the Necronomicon.
Well, it's every single copy of the Necronomicon is called the Necronomicon.
Yeah, but the OG is the Necronomicon.
No, they're all called that.
Oh.
There's loads of different language versions. I have
This-
character here. There's
yeah.
loads of different ones.
There's loads of different ones. This
Is
is
it bound and dude?
no. This it
No.
has on the front Necronomicon. It says translated by Theodorus Philetus, AD 950.
That makes sense. So it'd be translated out of Arabic. Cool. Well, in that case, let's. I'm going to grab the shell out of it. It's a book.
He gets the Necronomicon, and his reaction is cool.
Yeah,
That's-
it's like the occult treasure of the mythos, and he's like, "Yeah, that's all right. Slap it in my bag."
She's got a raging lady boner for forbidden knowledge, so let's go for it.
I'd actually
Not bound and dude though. It needs to be bound and dude.
one thing I will tell you, because you've been hanging around in the library in the Miskatonic a little bit, is that as far as you were told by your brief conversations with Armitage, there is no copy of the Greek version of this book in existence.
Dun dun dun.
All of the copies that exist are in Latin and are newer than this book.
So this is like finding a double shiny pog.
This is finding a pog that is not only shiny, but the whole tube that it is in is super shiny too.
I'm gonna go into the Miskatonic schoolyard and just rinse them all, slam my book down on them.
Okay, so you found that. There's nothing else in there. There is the cubicle wooden box that no one has looked at yet.
Are there any other books that are of any interest, by the way, just in case?
No.
Okay.
It's all mathematical, philosophical, and scientific. There are actually no occult or mythosium books at all in the bookshelf, apart from that one you found in the hidden compartment.
There were other bookshelves, yeah?
No, there was only one bookshelf.
Oh.
One bookshelf. And in that bookshelf as well is a large hinged, a cubicle wooden box with a hinged lid and a small leather book on the top that no one's looked at yet.
I don't England well.
All right, friends, you should look at that shit because I'm.
Well, I think Surprisngly's the only one that's still in there with her.
Yep. You
So
want to have a look at the
sure,
box?
I'll have a look with my English.
Okay. This is a small book that seems to be...
Any pictures?
Most of it is blank.
Oh, thank fuck.
In the middle is a couple of pages with well-written notes. You think this may be some kind of incantation that you
Oh,
can
nice.
potentially learn.
Oh, nice. What language is it?
It's in English.
Oh,
There is also the box.
it's sitting in.
No, it's on top of the box.
Oh, I see. Does the box look spring-loaded and ready to pop up if I take the book?
I can describe the box for you. No, you've
Describe
already
the
taken the
box.
book. It didn't.
Oh, God.
It didn't. It didn't do anything.
Ah.
It didn't do anything bad.
Okay.
It's a well-made box. It appears very solid and well built.
Bolted onto the table.
No, you can take it.
Any carvings or anything?
No,
How big is it?
not particularly big. It's a cube. It's 18 inches high. So it's 18 inches, 18 inches, 18 inches.
Any sort of configuration I could put it in that I would regret or lament?
The only thing you could do is open the box. It's got a hinged lid.
Okay, fuck it.
What's in the box?
You open the box. Okay. Nothing's in the box.
I take the
Well,
box
scam.
with me.
You take the box
Does
with
it-
you. Okay.
Do you indicate to me that it's there?
Sure. There's Russian muttering.
There's
Skabonk.
the only thing that I will note to you is that normally these kind of boxes have like a velvet lining in them, or there is no such thing in this box.
Okay.
So you've took a box with you. I will
It's
mark
mine.
this on your.
It's not awkward to carry or anything, is
No,
it?
no. It's just
Okay.
it's 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet. You have the.
I assume if I have a look at it, nothing presents itself to me. It just looks
Well,
like
what
a
are you
box.
doing?
Could I do an occult roll on it? I mean, does it look like it has any kind of ceremonial
No,
purpose? or is
it
just-
doesn't. It just
creepy
looks like a
box?
box.
So we were like the guard in a Metal Gear game. It's just a box. It's a box.
I'm assuming something goes in it later.
So you've got this box. So
Got the
you
box.
I take it. Oh.
So what have you two been doing while all this has been happening? Grant and Everett.
Just more standing guard, really.
All
I assume
standing
that not a huge amount of time has passed.
up? No,
Dude.
not really.
Yeah.
So eventually these two emerge, and Violet is holding what looks like an extremely ancient book. Your keen investigator skills recognize the book quickly, Daniel, as likely to be something not particularly pleasant. But
I take it I recognise it, do I?
only if you'll be able to recognize it if she shows it to you.
You can do that? Or you can be cruel and keep it to yourself?
It's my book. If you want to look at my book, you have to ask. It's my book.
Well, I should have.
It's my book.
Yeah, show me that shit.
All right, you can have a look at my book.
Make
Oh, nice, it looks good.
Make a mythos roll.
Oh, yeah, let's roll it. 80.
It's...
I failed to recognise the most famous mythos tome
Well, you
around.
can't read it.
It's only a bottle.
You can't read it
Copy.
because you can't read ancient Greek.
Yeah, but it has the face on it.
It doesn't.
Oh, god damn it. This is bootleg shit. Made in fucking Greece. It's not even made by the proper Arab. Gotta have the original fucking...
So, the only place you haven't yet explored is the large room down the corridor where nobody has emerged. Nobody has emerged from this room.
That's alright.
Do you wish to go in?
And go in.
I think we should.
Okay.
Sure.
You step into this room. You can more clearly see the room now. There are pillars that are assembled within this room. It is roughly about, from one corner to another, 250 feet or so. It's high ceiling and very echoic. The pillars represent, they resemble like giant trees that appear to be holding up the roof. They stretch up and out and blend into the arcing ceiling. Your lanterns are not good enough to see what the ceiling looks like.
So these pillars like sculptured, or they're just similar shape?
They are sculpted to look like trees.
Not petrified trees.
No, they're actually sculpted to be trees. They're made of granite, much like everything else is carved out of granite.
Nice.
They are granite. There is, in fact, a staircase. It is spiral, much like the stairs you use to get down to this floor.
Railing?
No railing this time.
Uh-oh.
Not illuminated either, but you do have light.
Well, shall we, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think so.
Further down.
Carefully, I think. As if we slip, we get binned.
Same marching orders?
Same marching orders.
Okay. In that
At least
case,
for me.
you descend further down. You think you go roughly the same distance as before, like several hundred feet. You are a long way down at this point. This opens out into... there are no doors this time to your left and right. The only thing this opens out into is a... there's a small bit of corridor ahead of you, and then it's a large open area. There are no light sources here at all. The only light you have is the light you've brought.
Violet
Sorry.
should probably spare the torch a bit as well.
I'm a little confused about the topography here. How the room that we saw, is it a like how high is it when we were at the top of it? Is that just like a 250 foot
It's from corner
but
to
only
corner.
sort of 10-foot tall room, or is it a massive room like 250 foot tall and we're going
It's
downstairs?
a massive room you were in, and there are stairs in the middle of it that head further down in the floor.
I'm confused about the lack of railings if it stairs into the earth.
Well, it's carved out.
Right.
It's carved
okay.
out of the granite. It's literally carved out of the floor, because everything around you is granite. So this room, the room
Right,
you're
but
in,
it's not a freestanding staircase like
No.
you find in the library.
No. It's not a freestanding staircase. It's literally
thought that-
carved into the granite floor
Okay.
and further
Oh, so
down.
it's basically another hole.
It's another hole
Yes.
that you're going
Okay,
down.
okay. I thought it
that's
was
the
like a big
clarification.
open room
No,
where
no,
we
no.
were spiraling down on. Okay.
No. This is a big flat, big open, big room, and in the middle is a staircase that is carved into the floor, going further down, much like the first one. There's no. Yeah, I can understand that. There is no like freestanding staircase that you're all going to plummet down.
Can we have a look at the pillars and stuff? How many are there? Any
I can
markings?
tell you how many there are. There's 3, 6.
So this is in
nine,
the new room, or is
No, this is the old room.
top-
I could tell you in the
top-
old room there were
okay.
16 pillars. They were arranged in what you can imagine is a way that they actually support the ceiling.
Were there any distinct markings on each of them?
Only the tree motif in the way they were carved. You couldn't see the ceiling well enough to see if it ended with like
Okay.
leaves or branches.
There was okay, yeah. Okay.
There was nothing else on them.
At the bottom of the pillars, was it actually showing roots, or was it just like this is where the sort of halfway down the tree essentially?
They were actually designed with like roots in mind
Okay,
at the bottom.
so yeah.
So
so
they have
they-
really
they
gone
just-
with the tree motif.
So it wasn't like this is actually like the top 10 foot of a tree, and then the roots are however many feet further down.
Yeah, pillar turning into a tree as it goes up.
Mhm.
No, okay, fine. Nothing special.
Okay, so the second floor that you're on, there's no doors to the left or right. It's just a short corridor ahead of you that opens up into a large area. Problem is there's no illumination in that large area at all. There's no illumination on this floor at all, apart from the lanterns you brought. So you can't see too far ahead. You can see a little bit ahead of you in that large open area. There appear to be metal like grates that cover holes. Like there's a hole, you think, and there's a metal grate.
The floor or the
Floor.
walls?
The floor. You can't see the walls of the area in the big room ahead of you clearly. You can
What
only
about the ceiling?
ceiling's actually quite low at this point. Also quite low in the next room too.
Any
And from
particular
what we
smell?
Ooh, this room has an odd smell. It's not exactly a smell of decay, but there's a smell of offness.
He's trying to determine whether or
are,
not it's a great tar drainage or not.
or can we see how big they are? Like, are they big enough that a man could fit through them, or are they just quite small grates?
They're big enough that a man could fall in and there'd still be room.
Right.
They locked onto the...
You can't see locks.
They look removable?
You're not close enough to know. You'd have to get closer.
Well, I mean, if they're locked, there's probably Satan in there. If they're removable, Satan would and can push them away. Satan probably would have emerged by now. So I think we're fairly safe to go have a look.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're going to have a look.
Is the floor still dusty?
A little less dusty here, actually. This area seems a little bit more trodden, which is curious because the floor above wasn't trodden at all.
So we can guess that there's probably another way in here.
Well, people or...
You cannot tell, only that there's less dust.
These are obviously going to be like the fucking underground boys.
So, are we moving further forward?
Just... I mean, I don't really have geography, but how... Like, is the city we're in... Is it particularly built on a hill or anything? Or is there... Like, are there nearby quarries or anything like that?
Boston is a harbour place. Stuff would get flooded, wouldn't it, if you dug too far?